Have you ever, looked out at the ocean and just thought about those stories? Ships, planes, just gone.
Yeah, the kind of mysteries that really stick with you.
Exactly. Well, today we're diving into maybe the most famous one of all, the Bermuda Triangle.
Mm. And our mission here is really to unpack it all. We'll look at the legends, the big disappearances, the science.
And the more imaginative stuff, too.
Definitely. We've gone through the material, and the goal is to give you, our listener, a really solid, well-rounded picture of what this whole enigma is about.
Okay, so first things first. Everyone kind of pictures a triangle, but let's nail down the actual points. Where exactly are we talking about?
Sure. So officially, you're looking at an area in the western North Atlantic. The points are generally accepted as Miami, Florida,
Okay,
San Juan in Puerto Rico,
got it.
and the island of Bermuda. Connect those dots, and, well, you get that rough triangle shape everyone knows.
Right, and this isn't a new thing, these strange tales.
Yeah.
I mean, sailors centuries ago were reporting weird stuff, weren't they? Compasses going funny sudden storm.
Oh, absolutely. Stories like that have been around for ages. Now, some might be, tall tales growing over time.
Sure, sailor stories.
Exactly. But there are enough documented incidents, enough weirdness, to give the mystery real roots.
So when did it really blow up into the Bermuda Triangle phenomenon we know today?
That really kicked off in the mid-20th century. That's when you had a string of really high-profile disappearances that grabbed headlines globally. It became, well, famous, or infamous, maybe.
Okay, let's get into those cases then, the ones that really made people sit up and say, what is going on out there? Flight 19 seems to be the big one.
It really is iconic. December 5th, 1945, you've got 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers.
Right.
Just a routine training flight out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Right.
Weather was reported as good, pilots were experienced, nothing seemed out of the ordinary at the start.
So perfect conditions, experienced crew. Then what?
Well, about 90 minutes into the flight, the leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, radios in. Big problem. His compass is out, maybe both of them,
Uh-oh.
and he says they're lost, completely unsure of their position.
And the radio calls after that.
They get increasingly confused, agitated. Taylor sounds disoriented. He thinks maybe they're over the Florida Keys, but nothing matches up. The controllers are trying to figure out where they are, but it's just chaos.
Wow. And the last thing they heard?
It's chilling. Something like, it looks like we're entering whitewater. We're completely lost.
Whitewater. In the air.
That's the report. And then silence. All 5 planes just gone.
But it doesn't stop there, does it? That's the part that always gets me.
No, it gets weirder. They send out a search plane, a big PBM Mariner flying boat with 13 crew members.
To look for Flight 19.
Exactly. And it disappears, too. Vanishes.
Unbelievable.
And to this day, not a single piece of wreckage from those 5 bombers or the search plane has ever been reliably found. Nothing.
Breathe. Gone. Okay, so that's aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
But huge ships too, right? The USS Cyclops comes up a lot.
Yes, another classic, really disturbing case. This was way earlier, March 1918.
Oh, yeah.
A massive U.S. Navy collier, basically a cargo ship, over 300 men on board.
Wow, 300.
Yeah. It was carrying a full load of manganese ore, sailing from Brazil up to Baltimore,
Right.
somewhere between Barbados and the Chesapeake Bay. It just vanished. No SOS, no distress call, nothing.
But a ship that big, I mean, even in a bad storm, wouldn't there be something?
Mm-hmm.
Debris, lifeboats, oil slicks?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? That's the core of the mystery. The Navy searched extensively, found absolutely zero trace.
Zero.
Zero. It's still the largest loss of life for the U.S. Navy outside of combat where the vessel was just lost without a trace.
So what were people saying back then? Storms? Sabotage?
All of the above were considered. Structural failure because of the heavy cargo, a sudden, unpredicted storm, maybe even German sabotage. Remember, this was WWI time frame.
Right.
But with no wreckage, no evidence, it was just speculation. It just left this huge question mark. Why absolutely nothing?
You mentioned the depth and currents possibly scattering debris, though.
Yeah, I mean, the ocean out there is incredibly deep, and the currents, especially the Gulf Stream, are immensely powerful. It's entirely possible they could scatter wreckage over a vast area or sink it very quickly, making recovery almost impossible, even for a large vessel. But still, no trace at all. It fuels the mystery.
Okay, so these incredible vanishing acts, often without a trace, it's no wonder people started coming up with explanations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some scientific, some less so. Let's talk about the science first. What's actually going on in that region?
Right. Well, a lot of it comes down to known, if sometimes extreme, natural phenomena. The weather, for instance.
Yeah.
That whole area is famous for incredibly unpredictable weather. You can get Sudden, violent squalls appearing almost out of nowhere. Plus, you have the Gulf Stream, a really powerful current, and it's Hurricane Alley. It can be extremely dangerous for navigation.
Okay, so dangerous weather, powerful currents. What about the compass thing? Is that real, the magnetic anomalies?
That's a really popular one from the past, and sailors did report compasses acting strangely sometimes. There are some slight magnetic variations in the area, that's true.
What?
But modern research shows they aren't really unique or extreme compared to other places on Earth. And critically, modern ships and planes rely on much more sophisticated navigation systems, now GPS, inertial navigation.
Right, not just a simple magnetic compass.
Exactly. So while magnetic issues might have contributed to confusion way back when, it's not really seen as a primary explanation today for, say, modern disappearances.
Okay, then there's the methane gas theory. That sounds pretty dramatic, bubbles sinking ships.
Yeah, it does sound dramatic. And it's based on real science, actually. There are things called methane hydrates on the seabed in some parts of the world. Basically, methane gas trapped in ice-like structures.
Okay.
The theory is, if something destabilizes them like an underwater tremor or landslide, a massive amount of methane gas could suddenly erupt. This gas rushing up through the water would drastically lower the water's density. Imagine the water becoming suddenly frothy, less able to support weight.
So a ship floating there would just lose buoyancy.
Precisely. It could potentially sink incredibly fast, almost like falling through the water. It's a plausible mechanism.
Has it happened?
Well, the phenomenon itself is real and observed elsewhere. Whether it's a major factor specifically in the Bermuda Triangle incidents, that's still pretty speculative. There's debate about whether the right conditions exist there frequently enough. And the idea it could affect low-flying planes by disrupting engines is even more debated.
Interesting, though. Okay, so that covers some of the science. But then you get the other stuff, the really wild theories.
Oh, yeah. This is where the imagination really takes flight. You hear about aliens, UFOs abducting ships and planes.
The classic explanation for anything weird.
Pretty much. Or secret underwater government bases conducting experiments gone wrong. Then there's the idea of it being some kind of portal.
A portal, like to another dimension.
Exactly, like a window area where vessels just slip into another reality or time. Some people even connect it to the legends of Atlantis.
Atlantis, how does that fit in?
The idea is maybe some kind of advanced Atlantean technology, perhaps powerful energy crystals or something, is still active on the seabed and interfering with modern craft.
Wow, okay, that is definitely imaginative.
It is. And look, there's zero hard evidence for any of this, obviously.
Right.
But you can see the appeal, can't you? These theories persist because they're exciting, they're dramatic. Humans seem to have a deep-seated fascination with mystery, especially mysteries that seem to defy easy, logical answers. It's more compelling than just bad weather or engine failure.
Yeah, I get that. So we've covered the famous cases, the lack of evidence sometimes, the science, the sci-fi. Bringing it all together, what's the perspective emerging from the sources we looked at? Is there a single answer?
Well, what really stands out isn't one single smoking gun explanation, like aliens or a portal. It's more about how the Bermuda Triangle seems to be a place where several dangerous factors converge.
Like a perfect storm almost.
Kind of, yeah. You've got some of the busiest shipping and air routes in the world crossing right through an area known for potentially treacherous and rapidly changing weather, strong currents like the Gulf Stream, and complex underwater geography with reefs and deep trenches.
Okay.
So when you have that much traffic encountering those challenging natural conditions, statistically, you're just going to have more accidents. And when accidents happen in that environment, sudden storms, rogue waves, navigational errors, perhaps compounded by those slight magnetic variations in the past, or even equipment failure.
Things can go wrong very quickly.
Yeah.
And disappearances might seem more mysterious than they would elsewhere.
Exactly. Add human error into that mix, disorientation, miscalculation, and you have a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And the no trace aspect. Well, as we said, the vastness and power of the ocean, especially the deep trenches and strong currents in parts of the triangle, can make finding wreckage incredibly difficult, sometimes impossible.
So it's less about a single paranormal force and more about a dangerous combination of heavy traffic, volatile nature, and human factors, all amplified in this specific spot.
That seems to be the most grounded takeaway from the materials, yes. It demystifies it somewhat, but highlights it as a genuinely perilous piece of ocean.
But still, even knowing all that, there's still something about it, isn't there? That little part of you that wonders.
Absolutely. There's definitely, maybe call it a romantic part of the human psyche that wants there to be more to the mystery.
Yeah.
These stories, these enduring enigmas, they remind us that the world isn't fully mapped out, not totally predictable. There are still corners that feel wild and unexplained, and that sparks our curiosity, doesn't it? It keeps us asking questions.
It really does. It makes
Yeah.
you think about the nature of mystery itself.
Yeah.
Even if most incidents have logical explanations, the legend lives on because we're drawn to the unknown.
Precisely. Which maybe leaves us, and you listening, with a final thought to mull over. Even if science eventually explains every single disappearance, does our fascination with the unexplained ever really go away? Do we ever stop searching for those gaps in the map?